night, the city lights are dancing, slowly falling apart. The shadows causing an outbreak. I'm wishing upon a star. This time I'm feeling stronger, and I know I can do better. The shadows causing an outbreak. I'm turning the light. We're gonna light it up, oh, light it up, ooh, light it up, causing an outbreak. I'm turning the light. We're gonna light it up, oh, light it up, ooh, light it up, causing an
One.
outbreak. I'm turning the lights on.
30 seconds. In 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5,
Open
4,
your eyes and see the deep
2, and 1.
We are back after a little bit of a shortened break. We got both teams to agree to come in a little bit early. Joining me now, replacing K-Flip, is Benny. How are you doing tonight, Benny?
Great, just played some decent series of Rocket League. Just ready to see this one here.
Yeah, absolutely. We are going to be having an elite matchup between Commanders and Despair. Let's throw it to the team comparison. Both teams just under 500. Commanders, 46 goals for, just edging him out. Despair a little bit better in the shooting percentage and assist category. But both of these teams pretty evenly matched in both the record and the statistical categories.
Yeah, definitely for sure. And I want to highlight one stat specifically, and it's going to be that goals versus stat. We say it every time, but the more goals you give up to goals that you allow is really what's going to kill you. And Commanders do have the edge here. I'm really curious to see how big of a part that will play in this series.
Yeah, I mean, you can't stay on defense forever, but having a strong limiting the number of goals you're against is going to be huge for your success if you plan to actually go far in the playoffs. Commanders and Despair both fighting to get in as Elite is going a little bit longer than the contender season, so I think both teams are still alive. But Commanders and Despair are going to have to turn it around here, and a sweep for either of these teams could be exactly what they need to do so.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, both these teams technically are still in player contention because their conference is a little bit on the weaker side. But these two teams, they're fighting just for around a 500-ish record, and a win on either side could be absolutely huge. For Despair, it would put them right at 500, and for Commanders, it would put them right over that hump, like you said. So really, just both teams, very important matchup here as they start to bear down, looking into making some sort of playoff run.
Yeah, absolutely. This one will mean a lot for both teams if they are able to get the series win. Let's move on to the player stats. Commanders, first of all, their trio of Windex, Hazard, and AG. Windex with the most games by far on the team, 35 goals, 133 shots, which is a lot, 19 assists. Windex, those shot numbers are really sticking out to me, just the amount of pressure they're able to put on.
Yeah, I had the pleasure of actually playing with Windex for a season, and I mean, the offensive brilliance that he brings to the pitch is absolutely unmatched for at least the rest of the players in the lobby. He's going to be definitely one to look at, but even still, Hazard as well. I mean, that 34 shot percentage, he's looking pretty dangerous coming in the stretch at the end of the season, and it's going to be hard for this Despair team to match their offensive pressure for sure.
Yeah, Commanders do have all the capabilities to put on a good performance tonight. If they get a series win or if they get a sweep, they would go above 500. So that is interesting. Windex, just the demos to mention, 66 demos, by far the most on the team. Though Hazard with 38 in 32 games, they're not afraid to get physical, this team. So that could be something to look out for. Let's move on to the Despair player stats quickly, led by Beretta, Detta, dvorl, and looks like Beretta and Detta both with 41 and 42 goals. Two-headed monster kind of leading the way.
Yeah, and I mean, it's like you said, just the two-headed monster leading the way. They have by far way more shots than their third man being either Devo or Steel. We'll have to see what they go with come match time. But you know, this two team, or rather these two players on this team, just really the main offensive focus, obviously, as we can see from these stats. And we'll see just how well they utilize each other in this one for sure.
Yeah, definitely going to be something to look out for. Again, the demos, all three of their main players are above 40 demos, so another physical team. Let me just check on the lobby. It looks like we might be missing a single player, so we're going to have to keep yapping for now. But again, what do you think, who is going to be the key player for Despair if they want to win this series?
I think for Despair, it's really Devo. You know, we talk about the two-headed monster of Beretta and Detta with their offensive presence on the field, but Devo's really their glue, and we're going to have to see whether it is Devo or whether it is Steeltoe playing, but I would imagine Devo being the captain will more likely than not play himself, and we'll get to see this kind of, I guess, three-headed beast now as... because we're still waiting on that one guy. If we can flip it back to the Commander's side, who do you have on that side to look out for?
Yeah, I think Hazard probably is the one to look out for. That shooting percentage is really good for Elite. That is a super high shooting percentage. So if he gets his chances, they are going to be deadly to deal with on the opposing end, the offensive end. So Hazard as well as Windex are probably the two main offensive threats, and then we'll see how the rest of it goes. But yeah, Hazard I think is the one to look out for, the X factor for Commanders.
Yeah, and I like we said earlier, this series, while both of these teams are just under 500, don't let that story be told. These are two teams that are still fighting for seeding, and with results from the rest of their conference maybe not going exactly how it would have been expected tonight, the race for the playoffs is much closer than we originally thought. And with the season winding down, these are the most critical matches, so definitely be ready for a very, at least, physical, entertaining barn burner series. As seems we're starting to get these players into the lobbies and we're starting to get going here.
Yep, we are now good to go. All players are ready. Commanders Despair, an elite matchup. 5 minutes on the clock. Let's see who can start off the best.
AG smacks it in the corner, and it's immediately met by Beretta. Beretta now tries to take it low, but he can't find much. Devo immediately starting off with a physical presence as he gets the demo on Windex. Here comes Detta the other way. So now Beretta will collect. Goes high over Windex. He's got one more to beat, but he won't get there as Hazard clears it away.
Yeah, Beretta looking dangerous there, almost getting it to go. A clear to the corner from AG, trying to buy time for his teammates. Does take control, gets demoed though by Beretta. Detta on the ball, gets the pop out. Can't find the teammate in time. Beretta has to delay. AG looking to flick it mid for a teammate. Hazard is intercepted by Beretta, who stops the shot at the near post, preventing the attack from advancing. Windex gives it over to Hazard. Hazard trying to get this one around the defense. Can't do it. Beretta trying to break out. Windex's shot should just be as far as Devo.
Yeah, we're starting to see this physicality really ramp up, as that one's going to be trickled on net, but Hazard was able to clear it away. As now we're starting to see a little bit more physicality from this Commander side as Hazard tries to sneak one in, but Detta was there to meet it immediately, as he'll try and take it upfield now. AG plays it in the corner. Hops over one. He kind of misplays it there, but it'll still go his way. Now Devo, send it back in, but it's met there by Windex. This could be dangerous here. This Hazard just barely plays that one over.
Yeah, I mean, Hazard, who has kind of on two separate occasions just been lurking downfield, waiting for the pass to get there, and just not made the contact in time. Good clearance now. Beretta does realize they have space. Hazard shuts it down. Devo has the boost advantage, but Windex grabbed the mid boost. AG just looking to bait in a challenge, does bait in the first, baits in another, gets the low 50. A demo comes out though. That's going to give Devo a lot of space. The first touch wasn't necessary, but instead he'll make it work. Get out of it. Beretta lurking for something down low. Detta baits two in, but it should be cleared by Hazard.
Yeah, we're starting to see just more and more physicality coming in from this Despair side. Now every single player on this Commander's side has been killed once. It's been Beretta as Windex gets a kill of his own there. As AG tries to clear it out. That one will finally get at least into their half as Windex will try and keep this one deep. It's met immediately by Detta, who will clear. Comes AG. Catch it on the wall. Pops over one. It's not out though as Devo tries to put that one on net, but it's just wide. Hazard now. Starting to see a lot more pressure from this Despair side and not really seeing much of a response here from this Commander's team.
Yeah, Commander is getting a little bit shaky, having to give some last-minute heroic efforts to keep this one out, as we don't have our first goal yet. Windex gonna clear it to Beretta. Windex had to use all his boost to do so. There's a big demo. Detta, can he get the read? Didn't have the boost to put anything too threatening past him. Devo gets dunked, but it's only as far as Beretta. Devo gets cut out by Windex. Windex making sure this one isn't getting past the midfield. Windex trying to keep this up. Oh, big miss there. Can Detta put it on target? He cannot, and AG will just see it away into the corner.
It's a bad slip up if you're Despair. That was a completely open opportunity. As here comes Detta trying to cash in there now, but it's met there immediately by Hazard. I think it was Windex who whiffed on the initial play, and that's one you gotta score if you're Despair with only a minute left and chances dwindling down. Is this one Hazard almost able to put it on net, but it somehow manages to stay out as here comes Beretta the other way. Open net, and he will find it. Beretta.
No way. That is a tragic result for Commanders, who had the ball sitting on the goal line. Hazard tried to backflip it in, and it unfortunately didn't have the momentum. So all of them were committed upfield, and it was an easy breakaway attempt. Commanders had to have thought they had the opening, but instead they are down just the same. Devo is going to look to try and expand this lead, get some insurance for Despair. It's going to be an awkward bounce. Hazard gets a touch, but Windex comes to save it and clean it up.
Yeah, so far this game has just been really about the 50s and the physicality. But, you know, make a mistake like that, it's hard to come back from, as they're just trying to throw everything they can at this Despair team, but haven't been able to get lucky here. As here comes AG, unable to cash in yet again. It's these deep challenges that have been killing him so far.
Well, that's a great pass, Detta realized he had time to play it, waited for the challenge to come in, baited on, got a brilliant pass down to Beretta, and Windex in the net can't make the squishy save in time. So Commanders, Despair keep going and get an insurance goal, and that should just about do it unless a disastrous couple of kickoffs happen. Instead, it might look like they are equal to 3 goals, but instead, looks like it won't matter. Despair are going to try and continue to put on the pressure, and they will take game number 1.
Yeah, just an absolutely dominant front from Despair. Detta leading the way. I mean, they had physicality, they had shots, they had pressure, they had passing. It was just an absolutely great showing from this Despair team.
Yeah, pretty early on in the game, it was very even, but then as it went on, that chance on the goal line, I think, kind of just served as the shift of a momentum in that game, and Commanders could not really catch up after that. Despair kept going, got 1 goal, and then used it to build into a second one. So really well done from Detta and Beretta, the two-headed monster we were talking about. Devo just filling in the gaps for Despair to take this game 1 win.
Yeah, like we said, I mean, he's the glue, really. I mean, you have that two-headed monster, but it all doesn't matter if, you know, you don't have that consistency from your third man, and that's exactly what Devo brings. And as I said, you know, the more this series goes on, it really just look out for how well Devo's been playing.
Yeah, Devo, I think, will be asked to step up and will have to deliver at some points in the series, and he will be capable of doing so. But Commanders Despair, Commanders have to get that one out of their head. They were so close to finding the first goal, and instead, it just went all the way to the other end. Commanders Despair win the opening kickoff. AG doesn't have the corner boost, but already took it. So he's just going to force a low 50. Detta gets another good 50, but it's only as far as Hazard, who has a bunch of boost, will try and win it against Devo. Good clear by Windex. Detta just takes a pot shot, tries to make AG awkward, gets the corner boost, and it's a matter of putting those shots on and then taking their boost while they're scrambling to make the save. Despair are getting really good at doing that.
Yeah, and to be completely honest, this Commanders team looks scared right now. They're just throwing the ball away. Oh, there's a rule 1 in the corner. This turns to 2v2, as I believe it's AG and can't see the other player, but that one will trickle in as Hazard finds the opening. I'm not sure what exactly happened in the corner, but they ended up in a rule 1, and Commanders end up on top 1-0.
Yeah, a bit of a 2v2 action. Rule 1 just occurs randomly in the corner. Both teams respect it, which is good to see. And Commanders now are a 1-0 in the 2v2 matchups, but now when it's 3v3, they're going to have to figure out how to score. Windex almost gets the read off the ceiling. AG just plays it. Detta was already waiting up the ceiling. Hazard's awkward. He, in fact, can't make the touch at all. And so Detta just fires it from distance off the ceiling and completely catches out the Commanders players.
This was an absolutely great read from Detta. He completely reads the Commanders' offending player and pre-jumps him from the ceiling. Unbelievable shot, unbelievable patience. Just what a goal.
Great goal there from Despair, from Detta, who just read the way the challenge was going and completely disrespected it off the ceiling. Great challenge there. Detta now in on the action more. Great bang. Devo, we've been talking about him. Gets it in. Great 50. Beretta off the backboard. Windex, great read. And he's going to have a little bit of space. Let's see what it can do. Going to get support from his teammate, but the flick wasn't what he wanted. He wanted a little bit more. Detta now gets the flip. AG doesn't have boost, but no one on Despair knew about it, so they all left to get boosted up themselves. Windex should have space, gets bumped off. That should lead Detta in. AG has to make the read, gets it to Hazard. Hazard clears it away as far as Detta.
Yeah, so far once again, we're seeing this Despair team put on some more pressure as this one will actually kind of flip possession as AG will meet it there in the midfield as that one will be put on net, but oh, I thought it was going to be swept away by Beretta, but it doesn't, and that one's going to end up in the back of the net. A complete lapse on defense as Commanders take the lead.
Yeah, Beretta just a little bit too far, and the shot just had enough power where Beretta didn't have quite the boost to get back, and Commanders kind of have the lead out of nowhere, as they've taken their chances for sure. And now Hazard gonna look to buy time, plays the 50. Devo wins it, but Windex will go off the ceiling, use the space, leave it for AG. AG doesn't get quite the first touch I think he would have wanted. Detta double down to Devo, and Windex gets the boost stolen. I talked about that boost steals when they were doing so. Detta is gonna try and get it, but he misses that corner boost. That can delay their ability to get back into it. Another whiff though. This is getting scary for both teams, as I think I'm sensing a bit of panic on both ends.
Yeah, both teams really just like unable to find their rhythm, it seems, as Hazard accidentally passes it to the mid. This could be dangerous here for Devo.
Devo gets the pass from Hazard, who I don't think that was the touch he wanted. And you get a free backboard like that. Devo going to make you pay. Great play there. Hazard, I think, is going to want that clear back because he was not trying to just lackadaisically throw that one into the middle of the field. That is never the touch you would have won.
Especially not to that player. They call him double tap Devo for a reason. I mean, I don't really understand what happened here, but we play on as we now have a tie game. Detta now tries to pass it up for Devo as that one goes off the post. They're getting their opportunities here. They're suffocating this Commanders team, but like we said before, Commanders didn't really have that momentum, but they were leading as now again, it's Windex to finish on a great demo.
Yeah, and that all started with that weird touch that left a temporary 3-on-1. Detta not getting the mid-wall read. It didn't roll up. Instead, it just bounced out mid, which left the defender in net to have to deal with 3 cars going at him. And the demo eventually lands, and the Despair have to fight from behind again. Hazard plays it long. Devo uses all his boost. AG only as far as Beretta. Gets bumped, though. Good bump to clear space for Windex, who only had about 30 boost, but it's just, again, sent to the corner. Not really dangerous unless it makes it dangerous. Oh, it's a massive mistake in the corner as AG had all the time in the world and just kind of let the ball drop. Didn't recover correctly. Beretta will punish that every time.
Yeah, I mean, I want to say that it was a crucial mistake, but I've been in that position thousands of times, and let me tell you, it is unforgiving, that corner. Because I think he was trying to go up the wall. Hold on a second. This Despair team now, they're suffocating offense. Just kind of had to cut myself off for a moment as Devo tries to take it the other way. This last 50 seconds of regulation here, and this game is starting to become definitely one for the ages as Devo has to swipe that one away. Starting to see more of a physical game here between these two teams. Something we kind of saw out of Despair in game 1, but not so much out of Commanders. But they've been kind of ramping up the physicality too, and I think that's why this game is really as close as it is.
There was an air dribble chance for AG, but yeah, as you said, I think Commanders especially getting a lot more aggressive, looking to find a demo play whenever they get the ball. And now AG, his shot is denied at the near post. Hazard gets bumped off, trying to back pass it back to Windex. Detta gets the demo instead, and so it's only to AG. AG trying to pass it mid. Devo is there though. Hazard probably should have just put it to the ground, but instead elects to play ball. This could come back to bite them, but it looks like it should hit the ground. AG's keeping it up. This one will be on his hood. He keeps it alive in the corner, off the ceiling, pass down, fake to Hazard. No, we have overtime.
Absolutely class from these players for playing it on 0 seconds. I respect the heck out of it, but definitely maybe not the play, as now they're looking to defend yet again.
Oh my gosh. That one's just gonna go in. That is so brutal for Commanders, who were so good for most of this game. Windex near post. There's no one back post, and the 50 somehow goes in. That is a tough loss to swallow if you are Commanders.
Yeah, I mean, well, like you said, it's just them taking their boost, and by them I mean the Despair, obviously, and it's been rough for this Commanders team. They've been without boost basically the entire series. I mean, tell me if I'm wrong, but it's really been coming back to bite them on dang near every single goal. Definitely there in overtime, but it's kind of been the theme of this whole series, and I think Windex especially has really got to start utilizing these small pads here. As you know, at this level of Rocket League, you would assume everybody picks up small pads, but even I find myself not picking them up too, and it's a crucial lesson in Rocket League. And I mean, Despair will teach it to you if you're not careful enough, and they definitely did in that one.
Yeah, there isn't a coach in the world that won't preach about small pads in Rocket League, because as we've seen, when teams start to starve you like that, it is tough to get out of if you're just looking for those big boosts. Because as we said, Despair, are just using these shots as a way to buy time for them to steal the other team's boost. They are waiting for Commanders to bite, have to make a diving save, and then get put in an awkward position. They just take the boost in the meantime. Instead, Hazard gets bumped off AG. This could be a passing play, but AG bumps his teammate. Instead, Hazard gets a flip, but he can't find his way back to the ball. AG now does get the boost steal. Beretta clears it. Windex should have a little bit of space, but Beretta gets a good read. Windex can't get back to this. Hazard is going to have a little bit of boost and delays to the corner. Plays it. Clears it long, but that one won't be troubling the defense.
Yeah, just once again, you know, we have yet to see this Commanders team really take a commanding stance on offense. As AG might actually have a chance here, but it's met immediately by Detta. He's been the completely driving force of this Despair team, as they've just been absolutely suffocating these Commanders in their defensive zone.
Yeah, it was game 2 when Detta had that ceiling challenge that what led to a goal entirely. He's certainly looking to be aggressive and definitely not letting Commanders have any space to make plays happen because they have the players to do so. That's an awkward touch. Beretta's crept a little too far forward. That was not what they wanted. Hazard gets it around 1, forces the panic. Devo tried to get a reset, but he didn't get the contact with the bottom of his car exactly, so instead it was just a giveaway, and Commanders will punish them.
It looked like he was trying to touch it down almost to the corner. I believe it was Beretta in the corner, but it might have been Detta. I'm not 100% sure. It's just an absolutely tough break if you're Devo.
That is a tough break indeed for Commanders, who will take that lead. Lil Windex over to AG. AG can't get it. They're all crept a little bit too far. Commanders don't really have anyone back. They have a lot of space to work with. Do Despair. Beretta trying to get a double. Does get the double, but won't be able to find his way back. Should lead to space for AG. A bad challenge. Detta's last back for a while. He has to make a good challenge, and he does to delay just in time in a demo. Should be able to buy enough time to get something going on offense even.
Actually got 2. There's 2 great challenges there. As this one's going to come the other way, as AG will be able to dribble that one in. I believe it was the play off of Hazard's clear. Not really sure where that double commit had come from, but nonetheless, it's in the back of the net, and Commanders have extended their lead to 2.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. That was really weird. That was a ultra aggressive third man challenge, I guess, because that one was always open, and third man just dove with his teammates both in the opposing net. So
yeah,
tough one for Despair.
It's definitely a tough one to watch, as that one will be shot directly on net. An absolute laser off the post and in for Detta.
That is a banger from Detta.
My.
Post in. That is, you cannot place a shot better than that. Catching the opponents off of rotation. Beautiful shot there. Devo caught a little bit too far. Ooh, great 50 though from Detta to buy time to get it back to his teammate.
Yeah, definitely is. Beretta tries to center it mid, but it's just simply not enough, as Hazard will have time, space, and boost to work with. So he'll try and take this one. Gets the fake on Detta. I think he was trying to go for the 50, but it might actually work out better that way, as AG fake challenge it on Beretta. Leave it there for Hazard. He'll try and play it in the corner. Devo now, big clear out, but it's met immediately by AG. Beretta tries to throw one on net, but it's just a little bit too high, as this Despair team, they've had a great shot from Detta, but outside of that, they've had very little offenses. You know, in those first 2 games, you saw a very heavy offensive pressure, and just gotta wonder what type of steps they need to make to really take back this lead.
Yeah, it's kind of starting to go the way of Commanders. Despair not getting the shots they wanted. Big win there from Devo. Devo tried to look for the bump. He didn't land it. If he did, that would have been an open net for Detta. Detta instead lurking. Windex, good read. That's going to lead to Devo. Detta gets demoed. That will leave to space for AG. Instead, Beretta cuts rotation, not letting them have any space to work with. Hazard's touch was a bit loose, but it goes only as far as AG. Pass to Windex off the backboard. Can Hazard read it? He will read it, and it will go in. Commanders continue to build themselves into the series. Great passing play. Beretta not in position to read it, and Hazard will take that little shot over the last defender.
Yeah, Despair was really starting to ramp up that pressure just right before the goal, and I think it was that Commanders recognized it and recognized how aggressive they were being, because they just kind of turned around and punched them in the mouth.
Yeah, that was a great play from Commanders, who have had some great counterattacks, and it felt like they've needed it in this game, especially. Devo off the challenge there. Detta gets dusted by AG. AG can't get back to it, so Beretta will have a little bit of space. A fake comes in. Windex is called on and does deliver for now. Devo used all his boost to just play it in the corner. Windex, good 50. Uh-oh. There's only one back. AG's last. Detta off the ceiling. Who's next? AG. Should be able to clear it away, I said. But instead, Devo, this one's getting a little bit awkward. Commanders are just going to have to delay, and this one, as long as it isn't immediately countered, Commanders should be able to see this one out. They will indeed. Commanders do take a win, and we will not have a sweep.
Yeah, I mean, if you're Commanders, it's a real sigh of relief. This team came in here 25-27 for their record. I disconnected from Rocket League servers.
Oh, that's fun. Yeah, Commanders will take this lead, and it was kind of a team effort. All of them getting goals. Hazard with 2 assists as well. So the team plays coming out. They're finding each other in transition. So we are going to wait for Benny to get back in game, but Commanders, a really good job fighting against some of the tough moments early on, and Despair are going to have to win the final game if they want a series win.
Yeah, this game is definitely going to be huge for both teams. Commanders really needing to get this win to almost kind of save their record. Like I said, they came in 25-27, definitely a better record than Despair. But if they lose this game, you want it 26-30. It's a tough place to be in, and I believe it puts them as the 5 seed in Lunar. It's not really the place you want to be in, so definitely a huge game for both teams. As everybody's leaving.
Good question, Tommy. Ask them what they're doing. But yeah, Commanders.
Oh, we're missing Detta.
Oh, that's fun. Oh, there he is. All right, so Commanders, yeah, do take game 3, and I think are going to have to use that to build momentum. And we talk about them being so close, but these teams are kind of playing in different ways. Despair using the pressure to steal boost, and Commanders really good on passing to each other on the counters and finding each other in fast break opportunities. Not as much trying to hold possession, because they really can't, because they're getting starved. They are trying to find clearances and quick counters, as this is almost going to be a result of Hazard trying to bump instead goes back to Beretta and Detta, but they have to figure out who wants to take the ball. Eventually Detta will clear it. Devo, loose touch Hazard, bump comes out, AG comes in, and this one is going to fly into the middle. 2 go though, bad double commit. Hazard's shot is a little bit too weak to test the defense.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, they've been unable to take control, but I think that's for good reason if you're on the Despair, because immediately out of the gate, we saw AG with the control, and we can see just how dangerous this Commanders team is, as Windex will try and get something going, but Devo immediately up there to meet him. Great challenge by Devo, as that one will get passed out for Windex. It's immediately met by Beretta. This Despair team really not wanting to give Commanders even a single inch.
Yeah, good pass there. Oh, Windex was a little bit too far up. The pass a little bit too far behind. Hazard off the ceiling, can't find the catch or the reset. Hazard looking to find a bump or a pass. Instead, it'll float middle. Hazard, can he maybe backflip challenge? No, he cannot. Instead, he'll get the corner boost, fake it. Windex comes in, takes control. Beretta. Oh, Detta should have this one first. Can he find it on target? He can. And we've been talking about Despair being the ones who've been being countered. This time they find each other. Detta finding AG. Low boost. Cannot get back in time. Great counter attack from Detta.
Yeah, just like we talked about with the low boost, right? AG was back with, how much boost was that? I think it was 24. This Despair team is, hold on, Devo. I called him double tap Devo earlier. I thought he was gonna have another one. He almost cashed in on that one. Comes AG now. Passes infield to Windex. Thought it was gonna be a shot on net there, but I guess not, as beretta tries to clear. He can't do much there, but Devo will clean up for him. And here comes AG. Tries to get a shot on net. That one goes off the crossbar. It's not gonna go in. Just another tough break for the Commanders. So we saw them dodge a little bit of this luck in game 3, but we're starting to see, once again, they're not really getting the bounces that they want, and it just seems like they're gonna have to work just a little bit harder to get this one to go their way.
Yeah, sometimes luck's not on your side and you gotta work a little bit harder. It feels like every game, except for game 3 where they won, they had the ball just kind of floating on the goal line a lot, and it just somehow didn't go in, unfortunately. Detta, good play. Gets a 50, gets the boost steal as well. AG wins the challenge, doesn't use a lot of boost, which is crucial. Detta, big misread. Hazard, is this one just open? It is a big misread in the sidewall, as Detta maybe flipped a bit earlier than he wanted to, and it led to Hazard having a free breakaway.
Just like last game, Commanders doing this really good job of letting Despair get their punches in before turning around and, like I said earlier, just completely punching them in the mouth with that goal. As they played patient, they waited for them to overcommit, and here comes AG. Oh my goodness, AG, the fake, the cook, the goal.
And that's about as good of a fundamental play. Realizes the advantage on the ground as one just went flying. And then one to beat just flicks it over the last defender. Not even a crazy flick, just a front flip flick, which was only what was required. And beats the last defender. Great play from AG. Windex now looking to capitalize. Build their lead. Detta plays long. Devo should be there looking to find a pass in mid. Gets the reset pass. Instead, it should be bouncing. AG gets space, flicks it long. Gonna require Detta to use a lot of boost, but does a lot to force it to the sidewall. AG is going to have to delay. He's in a little bit of an awkward spot. Beretta, Hazard is back in time to save it.
Yeah, I mean, it's been completely both ways for both these teams, and even though Commanders do find themselves in the lead, it wouldn't surprise me if Despair could mount something here, as Beretta tries to get this one out, and it's immediately kept in by AG. This one could be dangerous, as Detta's last back with almost no boost, and Windex now has the ball, has opportunity to carry, but he'll send it across. Here's Hazard now. That one's barely off frame. AG tries to play it up top, but he gets demoed. Nobody's committing. Is Hazard almost had a free opportunity. Here comes Windex now. It's saved out by Devo. AG tried to get a shot on, and that one's going to go trickling in off of Hazard. I don't believe it was Hazard who took the shot, but it did hit off of him.
That's a crazy pinch. Hazard, I don't know if he knew anything about that ball. He's probably trying to get out the way. Instead, the ball deflects off the back of his car, and it goes top left instead of going top right. So it catches the defender just completely off guard. And so maybe a bit of fortune starting to come the Commanders' way, as it felt like their luck was against them. Eventually, you felt like that had to swing around. Commanders now in firm control of this final game.
Yeah, I mean, like we said, it was really just due coming. We said earlier about how they just need to be a little bit harder working, as they might need to work a little bit harder, as Beretta will put in the Despair's second goal. We might have a game on our hands here, as this Despair team, they're down, but they're never out. We only have a 1-goal game here with 20 seconds left, creeping up on this very decisive game 4. Devo now will pop it high. It's immediately met by AG. It's Beretta now. Tries to find Detta, but he couldn't. Now Commanders will try and suffocate them in their own defensive zone. Detta now will control. Try and mount something here. 0 seconds. Devo tries to put one on. Saved away by AG, as this one will look like it's going to hit the floor, and it does. Commanders force a 2-2.
Well, a good result in the end. Commanders start to find a bit of luck going their way and do take back the series to force a 2-2. In the end, not the worst result for both teams, but with the position both of these teams are in, a series win would have felt like would have given the momentum to push into the playoffs for either of them. But instead, a 2-2 kind of leaves them in the same position they were, just looking in from the outside edge of the playoffs. So a tough result for both teams, but a good match of Rocket League in the end. Two really exciting teams to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. As looking now, it seems like these two teams are still locked. Commanders now the 16 overall in Elite, while Despair looking at 19, but they are deadlocked. So this Elite final two matchups are going to be absolutely huge, especially for these two teams getting into the playoffs. As always gets really hectic towards the end of the season.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting end of the season. Benny, who is your MVP of this series?
I mean, I gotta give it to Devo. You know, we called him Double Tap Devo because of the beautiful double tap we had before, but he was really just the one keeping Despair in these games. I mean, he was the saving grace in Game 4. It was the reason why Commanders didn't completely walk away with this game. He had 4 saves along with Detta's other 4 saves. I think it's gotta go to Devo.
Yeah, you went with the Despair player. I'm going to go with the Commanders player. I'm going to go with AG, who was, I think, a little bit of the glue guy for their team, but both teams really showing up in different games and in different moments. So lots of players who could have been MVP for sure. But that is going to do it for our regular season streams. Wednesday night, we will have our first final stream. It is an exciting one. It will be the amateur final between HR Violation and the Dick Dicks. It will be a great one to watch. As guess what, guys? An amateur finals without a 50-50 pizzeria team. I know it's a shock, unfortunately, but it is the case. And both of these teams are going to be showcasing what our low tier talent have to offer. Well, that is going to do it, everyone. Thank you for joining us. See you Wednesday for the start of our playoffs.